horror stories.
As I tucked my son into bed, he whispered, "Daddy, there's someone under my bed." When I checked, I saw my son, eyes wide with terror, whispering, "Daddy, there's someone on my bed." I found a journal in my attic with entries detailing every day of my life, right up until tomorrow's date, which ends with the words, "This is the day you die." I downloaded a sleep app to record my snoring, but when I played it back, I heard someone else whispering, "Stay asleep." I kissed my wife goodbye as she left for work, only to see her phone still lying on the kitchen counter, buzzing with a message that read, "Running late, be home soon." My dog stood growling at the corner of the room, and when I turned on the light I saw handprints on the wall, slowly fading away. I heard my mum call my name from the kitchen, but when I got there, she was still asleep on the couch. Then the kitchen light flickered off. I found an old VHS tape labelled "Watch Me," and when I played it, I saw a recording of myself sleeping in the clothes I wore tonight. I took a photo of my empty bedroom, but when I looked at it, a dark figure stood in the corner staring directly at the camera. Every night I hear soft crying coming from the attic, but when I finally gathered the courage to go up there, all I found was an old mirror reflecting my own tear-streaked face. Every night I hear knocking coming from the closet, but when I open it, nothing is there, except for the words, "Let me out," scratched into the wood. I felt something tug on my blanket in the middle of the night, and when I looked down, I saw small pale fingers slipping away under the bed. My phone buzzed with a notification, "You have a new voicemail." When I played it, I heard my own voice screaming. As I drifted off to sleep, I felt a hand gently stroke my hair. Then I remembered I live alone. The old family photo I keep on my dresser has started to change, with each person's face slowly turning into an expression of terror. My daughter's imaginary friend told her that she would visit me tonight, and now as I lie in bed, I can feel someone watching me from the dark corner of the room. I heard a knock on the window next to my bed, but when I looked, I saw only my reflection, until it blinked. The creepy doll I threw out weeks ago was back on my shelf this morning, sitting exactly where it used to, its head now slightly tilted in my direction. I went to check on my son after hearing him cry, but when I opened the door he was fast asleep, while the crying continued from the closet. I received a voicemail from my deceased grandmother. Her voice sounded distant. She said, "I'll be seeing you real soon." I found a note on my pillow that read, "I love watching you sleep, but I always lock my bedroom door." I was home alone when I heard my shower turn on, and when I went to check, the bathroom mirror was fogged up with "Hello" written across it. As I began to drift off to sleep, I heard a soft voice behind me whisper, "Good night," even though I live alone. The reflection in my bathroom mirror didn't copy my movements. It just stared back at me and smiled. My daughter has been asking me for weeks about the man who taps on her bedroom window every night, but we live on the 5th floor. Every night I hear my cat scratching at the door to be let in, but he died 3 months ago. I woke up to find "Don't look under the bed" written in blood on my ceiling. The worst part was hearing slow breathing from underneath. My phone rang, and when I answered, I heard my own voice say, "Don't turn around." I received a text from my wife saying she'd be home late, but she'd been in the shower for the last 10 minutes. I woke up to the sound of a lullaby playing softly in the nursery, but my baby never made it home from the hospital. I was video chatting with my friend when she suddenly asked, "Who's that standing behind you?" But I was alone in my locked apartment. I thought I was the only one in the house until I saw someone walk past my bedroom door. My dog wouldn't stop barking at the basement door, so I finally opened it, only to hear someone whisper, "Quiet, you'll wake them." I received a video call from my own number, and when I answered, the person on the screen looked exactly like me, except with empty, hollow eyes. My sister died in a car crash a couple of years ago, yet I keep finding her clothes freshly washed in the laundry and the sound of her humming late at night. The children next door keep waving at someone in my upstairs window, but I'm always the only one at home. I woke up to a trail of muddy footprints leading from the front door to my bed, but all the doors and windows were still locked from the inside. I put my baby down for a nap, but when I checked the monitor, a shadowy figure was already standing over the crib. I got up in the middle of the night to get some water, but as I passed the hallway mirror, my reflection stayed behind. I heard laughter coming from the attic, but when I went to investigate, I only found dusty old toys, each one facing the attic door. I woke up to the sound of my mother calling me from the kitchen, but as I reached the stairs, I heard a whisper from the closet behind me. "Don't go, it's not her." I felt a cold breath on my neck as I watched the security footage, realizing no one else was in the room. The old doll I found in the attic had a sweet smile, until one night it turned into a malicious grin on its own. As I walked through my dark house, the floorboards creaked behind me, except there was a second set of creaks. I set my phone camera to take a group photo, but when I reviewed the picture, there was an extra face smiling among us, pale and unfamiliar. As I lay in bed, I felt a warm breath on my neck and a soft whisper saying, "I've missed you, but I live alone." I woke up to a sticky, metallic smell in the dark and reached out to turn on my bedside lamp, only to find my hands covered in warm blood. I glanced at the family portrait on the wall and froze in terror. The faces were all distorted, twisted into wide, unnatural grins that seemed to stretch forever. I heard my little sister's voice coming from my parents' room, but when I opened the door, I only found her on the bed, staring up at the ceiling with her mouth sewn shut. As I lay in bed, I heard faint, raspy breathing next to me and turned to see my husband's dead, hollow eyes staring back, though he'd been buried just last week. I found an old diary under the floorboards of my new home, and the final entry read, "If you're reading this, it's already too late. They know you're here." I found a dusty tape recorder in my basement and played the tape inside. It was a child's voice whispering, "Daddy, I'm scared," followed by my own voice replying, "Don't worry, they'll never find us down here." My phone buzzed with a notification. "Someone is trying to unlock your front door." I turned to see a shadowed figure already standing inside my bedroom. I awoke to find claw marks running down the walls and ceiling, leading to my bed, where a trail of red-smeared words read, "They're coming for you next." I was lying in bed when I felt a cold hand slip into mine, but when I turned to see who it was, all I saw was the shadow of a man standing at the foot of my bed, grinning. The old music box I found in the attic started playing on its own, and when it stopped, I heard a faint whisper, "Play it again." My roommate has been talking in her sleep about being followed, but she moved out last month, and now I hear her every night. The scratching behind the walls was getting louder each night, and tonight it stopped abruptly. With a soft whisper I heard, "Found you." I woke up in the middle of the night to find my bedroom door slowly creaking open and a child's voice whispering, "Mommy, let me in." But I don't have any children. The voice on the other end of the phone kept saying, "You're going to die tonight," in a hushed tone, and I could hear it whispering from the other room. My father told me there was a monster under my bed when I was a child, but I'm 30 now, and last night I heard it breathing again. I found a series of unsettling portraits under my floorboards, each depicting a different face, until I noticed the last one was of me, sleeping. I woke up to my mom singing my lullaby from my childhood, but I buried her 3 years ago. I tried to wipe the fog off the bathroom mirror, but instead of my reflection, I saw a dark, faceless figure slowly creeping closer. Every night my son insists he hears a woman crying in his closet. Tonight I heard it too. My reflection in the mirror blinked, but I hadn't closed my eyes. My grandfather passed away years ago, but every night at 3 a.m, his rocking chair starts moving by itself, creaking just like it did when he was alive. I smiled at the photo of my family on the wall, but then I noticed an unfamiliar face peering out from behind us, grinning. I heard my own voice calling my name from the basement, and when I went to check, I saw myself standing at the bottom of the stairs, grinning up at me. I was cleaning out the attic when I found a mirror covered with a sheet. As I removed it, my reflection grinned, but I hadn't smiled. I woke up to the sound of my doorbell ringing in the middle of the night, but when I checked the camera, there was no one there, just the lingering shadow of someone leaving. My daughter's nightly whispers always sounded like gibberish, until one night I realized she was whispering in reverse, repeating, They're already inside." My wife was humming softly in the kitchen, but I had just identified her body at the morgue this morning. My toddler has been having imaginary tea parties in her room. Today, I heard a low, gravelly voice from the baby monitor say, "More tea, please." I found a note on my bathroom mirror written in steam, "Get out before he wakes," but I had just stepped out of a cold shower. I woke up paralysed, unable to move, and felt hot breath on my neck. A deep, raspy voice whispered, "You're mine now," before the pressure lifted. My phone rang, and when I answered, it was my own voice, breathless and terrified, saying, "Don't go home, it's not safe." As I fell asleep, I felt my bed sink as if someone sat at the edge, and a voice whispered, "I've missed you." I turned on the light to find an empty indent on the bed. I woke up to the sound of my name being whispered repeatedly. When I opened my eyes, I saw my own face inches from mine, grinning in the dark. I woke up to find every single one of my family members standing around my bed, motionless and staring, with vacant eyes and wide, unnatural smiles. Then, in perfect unison, they whispered, "It's time to join us," as they reached out. I came home to a dark, empty house and saw my own shadow on the wall. It waved at me, but I hadn't moved an inch. My phone alarm went off at 3:33 a.m, a time I never set, and as I reached to turn it off, a cold hand grabbed mine from under the bed, pulling me down as a voice hissed, "It's my turn now." I woke up to the feeling of someone holding my hand. As I opened my eyes, I saw my own sleeping body beside me, my hand gripped tightly by a shadowy figure that whispered, "You can never wake up again." If you've enjoyed these, please don't forget to subscribe.
Bloody Mary's Horror Stories. Watch, like, and subscribe.